Hey there, friend. I hope this finds you well. The Orthodox Church has had plenty of centuries to come up with its own smorgasbord of traditions and all the different ways that it historically reveals the mystery of the Church. So while there's always the dogma of the Church throughout different cultures, different societies, and different time periods, there's different ways of expressing that same reality of who God is. People talk about this in different ways. Sometimes they talk about capital T tradition and lowercase t tradition. Sometimes people refer to it as the mystery versus history. But what's important for all this kind of stuff is just to remember that the primary thing of the Orthodox Christian way of life is always God, and focusing on Him and trying to get a theosis with Him, to come into union with Him, and to just love Him and be loved by Him. So that's always the primary, the center stage. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the traditions that I grew up with and still kind of adhere to. So to start with, I thought we could just talk about getting ready for church, what to bring, and nothing super deep theologically, just kind of some basic like, I'm going to church. What do I do? The best thing that you can do is, go to an Orthodox church in your local community. Talk to the people there, and like real, actual, physical people, not just me here on the internet. Talk to the priest there, talk to, different kinds of people. But this is just me sharing a little bit of myself with you. Take with it what you will. If there are good parts in it, please take that. If there are parts that you don't agree with, then you don't need to take them. It's fine. Nothing here is dogmatic. I just wanted to share some of that stuff. So in today's society, if you go out anywhere in the public space, it is normally a truism that you should be wearing some kind of clothes. So the same is true when I go to church. I do wear clothes. I always think it's interesting how you can have a whole lecture or conversation on clothes, especially women's clothing in general. But we're not going to get too far into all that kind of stuff today. I'm just telling you what I do when I go to church and the clothes that I wear. So especially on a Sunday or something like that, I try to wear a nice dress or a skirt and a nice shirt, a nice pair of shoes. And this is more of like a signal for me internally that I'm going somewhere special. I'm going to go visit God's house. Like if I was going to go visit someone else, like the king or something, or like a really good friend for a special occasion, I'd like to dress up to look nice and going out, something like that. So the same kind of mindset, I'm going somewhere special. So I try to dress accordingly. Something like this is fine. And just as long as it's not super low cut or not super short, just so that when I'm doing prostrations or something like that, I don't have to be conscientious and overthinking about if I'm revealing anything or not. So usually, like the rules in school, right? Down like a skirt that goes past your fingers, preferably over to your knees, and again, something not so low cut. I don't wear a headscarf. I didn't do that growing up, and now when I do, it's only if I go to a monastery or if I'm at a church that everyone is doing that for when I'm visiting somewhere. So definitely when I'm like going to a church, I'm on vacation or something, I'll take a scarf with me just in case. But I do find that scarves are helpful just as a wraparound, because you never know how cold it's going to be inside the church. Even in the summertime, the priest wears a lot of vestments so he can get hot and have the AC on. So it's usually good to bring a scarf or even just a jacket or something like that, just to be safe. And when it's cold outside too, it's always a good thing to bundle up with. Weekday services, I don't always have the luxury, I guess, of having what I'd have for my Sunday best. And I know growing up, when we were going straight from school to church, my mom would have skirts for us in the car to change into. I've done that sometimes growing up also, but if I know I have church coming up, sometimes I'll just wear a nice pair of slacks to work that day. And if we have like a church cleanup on a Saturday all day, and I'm wearing kind of work clothes, it's not the end of the world if I just stay in those clothes for Vespers at the end of the day. And that's just every once in a while. So that's that for clothes, I think. So now that we've talked about what you can wear, I think it's also important to talk about what you can bring, because as I was raised, it's always good to never go empty-handed when you're visiting someone else's house. Traditionally, some things that are always brought to an Orthodox church are prosfero, or the altar bread, or some wine, here represented by grapes, if you have it, for communion. That's served at every divine liturgy. You can also bring olive oil, which is helpful in general. We always use lots of oil in Orthodoxy, especially extra virgin if you got it, mainly for the votives that are used near the icons. And speaking of icons, it's always good if you have some fresh flowers to bring in for the iconostasis. And then if you know someone in your family who has passed, koleva is a nice offering that you can bring for the memorial service. On top of that, there's always usually some coffee hour and some good eating after the services we have, so bringing your own batch of delicious coffee or some fruits or some snacks is a good thing to bring too. And last but not least, it's always good to bring people with you. It's, bringing people with you, or it's a communal thing that we do going to church.
Yeah.
Ta-da. To be honest, most of the time though, I'm not bringing all those things with me. On an average Sunday, I'm lucky if I remember cash for candles when I get there, and my tithing envelope if it's a Sunday, along with my wallet and everything that's supposed to be inside it, including my license and my trans pass, and getting that all inside my bag. My phone, and also, my keys so that I can get back into my house. That's always a good thing too. And if I can remember all that, it's definitely a bonus. But the main thing that I'm trying to get to church and preparing to bring to church is me. My body, mind, and soul. That's what I'm preparing to offer into worship to God. So the biggest secondary thing that I can remember to bring is myself, no matter what clothes I'm wearing or what's in my hand. Even if I forget all else, just making the journey there and being present there, the biggest thing that I can give. So, but if I can remember to wear some nicer clothes and bring some extra gifts, that's what I try to do. So that's it, I think, for today. That's all the preparing of church that I can think of. Next month, maybe we'll just talk about communion and what that all is, and how people prepare and receive that kind of stuff. That's my plan. But yeah, that's it for now. So I'm Anastasia, and it's been nice to see ya. And I think it's getting a little colder outside, so make sure you bundle up. Bye. Letting itself, I lost my train of thought. There's a door over there. Okay, last one. And I'm not gonna mess up words. It'll be fantastic. Yes. Hi, Mom. Okay. It doesn't work. I'm too close to the screen. You can't see my face. Also, my glasses are on again. It's not important. I just thought I'd not have my glasses on. I said That's really how did that even happen? I'm fine. It's just no, I'm fine. The camera just felt like falling. Did every? That should be enough. I keep saying that. I keep saying that'll be enough, and I need to stop.